the video. It is time to do the September wrap up. I'm really excited. I read a lot of books this month, more than I usually do, because I'm trying to get through that reading goal that I told y'all about last week. I know it says I read 8 books this month, but it's technically 9. I just finished a book this morning that I'm adding to the list because I'm not waiting until November to tell y'all about it. And I read most of it last month anyway. So I got through 8 books. I'm back up to 2,700 pages, which is great. I think my average rating was like 4.4 or something like that. I know I said I was going to lay off my Kindle a little bit, but that's starting this month, starting October. So we're going to try to lay off the Kindle a little bit to get through some more of the physical books. But I read like romance, some cozy fantasy stuff, some dark vampire books, which I'm really excited to talk to y'all about that one. So let's go ahead and get into the first book. Okay, so the first book I read, the first books, I'm gonna put these all together. The first books I read were a series by Kennedy Ryan, the Grip series. It's Flow, Grip, and Still. I'm on the wrong book. I had the box set, which is what I was going to show y'all, but for some reason I can't get the box set to open. So let me grab the other one really quick. Okay, so Grip, Flow, Grip, and Still, the Grip series by Kennedy Ryan. The first book, I believe I gave that a 4. Why do I never remember my ratings? Why don't I look at this stuff before I start the video? Flow got a 4.5. I gave it a 4.5 because I don't know, I just didn't see the point in it. I mean, I guess it made sense to like get some backstory on Grip and Bristol's like how their romance began. But it just, a lot of it just seemed, I don't know, I took issue with it. It seemed unnecessary. Like, this is like some stuff that could have kind of been explained in the first book. That book was a prequel. Flow was a prequel to, like I said, show you like how they met and why they connected and why they like were so drawn to each other. But it just didn't seem necessary to me, to be honest with you. But it still got a 4.5. It was cute. It was quick. Why did my Kindle turn off? The second book was Grip. So this is like the aftermath. They had a falling out at the end of the prequel. So this is like showing you how they're going about their separate but still kind of connected lives. Bristol is a music manager agent, and she runs a record label with her brother Ryson. And Grip is one of their artists, and she ends up becoming his manager. And it just shows how like she's still holding on to the negativity of how they left things, and they both still feel kind of way, especially Grip, but she's pushing him towards somebody else. She's pretending to date somebody else, and it just goes crazy. They end up talking to each other all kinds of wild, it's nuts. But what I really need to talk to y'all about is Still. This book broke my heart. It did. Now, spoiler alert, if you plan on reading this, just skip ahead to the next book. They are together, they stay together, but there are things that happen in this story that are just so like tragic and sad. First of all, they deal with a lot of unasked for opinions from people about the relationship. I don't know if y'all can tell from the cover, but Grip is black, Bristol is white, so they're in an interracial relationship, and they're trying, like, got people from all corners of everywhere coming at them with things they don't really want to hear. Like, love is love. You love who you love. Love does not have a race. Love does not have a gender. It doesn't really matter. But in this book, they have to deal with it from everywhere, from shady politicians, from podcasters who invite people onto their podcasts under false pretenses, from parents, from cousins, from just everybody, the random internet trolls that don't matter. But the thing that's the most heartbreaking is they go through the loss of a child. Bristol gets pregnant. They find out that the baby has anencephaly, which I think I said that right, which basically means that the brain and the frontal lobe and the top of the head is not all fully formed. So babies that are born with that don't live past usually a few hours, which it just was so sad. It was so sad. It was hard to read. I was crying reading it. I very rarely cry while I'm reading books, but I was just in the room just bawling, reading this book, and I had to text Kay like, what is it? She told me, she was like, you are not prepared for it, and I wasn't prepared for this. I'm sitting here about to tear up now thinking about it. But yeah, the whole series was great. I think I gave Grip a 4. I gave Still a 5 though. Still got a 5. Like, and the one upside to this is the wedding vows that Grip wrote to Bristol were just beautiful. He wrote her a poem, and it's the title of the book. It's called Still. It was just beautiful. But overall, the series was really good. I highly recommend it. Anything Kennedy Ryan writes, I highly recommend at this point. She doesn't miss. Speaking of Kennedy Ryan, we got the last book in the Hoop series, Hook Shot, that I told y'all that I was finishing up at the beginning of the month, that I would get back to y'all for the wrap up. This one I think is my favorite in the whole series. It follows Keenan and Lotus. Lotus is Iris's cousin. Iris is from the first book, from Longshot. Keenan is one of August's teammates, and they meet up in New York while Keenan is going through his divorce and his custody, kind of custody battle with his daughter, and Lotus is dealing with some trauma from her past, some like really bad trauma from her past that's not really allowing her to like be in the kind of relationship that she wants to be in with Keenan. She's a little apprehensive and scared and nervous, but eventually, of course, they do end up together. This book, this is another one that they have a whole chapter dedicated to. That's like a flashback that shows you what happened to Lotus in the past, and that well, I don't know what was going on with me this month. Everything just hurt. All the books just hurt my feelings. A lot of them did, but this one was really good. It's definitely my favorite. I like the love interest a lot more. And then Keenan is a Miles Davis guy. His favorite song is "It Never Entered My Mind" by Miles Davis, and that got me instantly. I was like, oh, he likes Miles Davis. That it's a wrap. That's all I needed to hear. So yeah, this got a 5. And overall, from the series, it was perfect. Love the entire series. You don't have to read them all, like they're standalones, but they're in the same world and all the characters are interconnected in some kind of way. But this is another series by Kennedy Ryan that I highly recommend. It's making it difficult for me to show y'all these covers. Next book is The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. Let me redo that because I need to get these Woo. BookTube not gonna like this. The next book is The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. I gave this book a 3.5, and before y'all like put me on a stake and burn me, let me just explain. So first of all, I'm gonna tell you what it's about. This book is about Marigold. It turns out that she comes from a family of witches, and her grandmother is like close to passing away. So her grandmother comes to collect her, to let her know, hey, you're a witch, your mama didn't tell you, you got to come with me, and I got to train you because I'm about to die. And I need somebody to look after the island. It's called Innisfree. And a honey witch, basically, they use honey to make spells and do their magic and things of that nature. And she is there are also ash witches, which are like the antithesis of them, and they use ash for their magic and spells and stuff. And there's a very particular one that's coming after their family, and she's cursed their family where they either have to choose their magic or never being able to fall in love. And Marigold chooses the magic, which means she can't fall in love. But she ends up spending a lot of time with a childhood friend. I think his name is August. It's another August. And his best friend, whose name is escaping me, and she's like really rude, and we don't like her. I didn't like her. And they spend a lot of time at her cottage, and she's like, let me try to convince you that magic is real. And yeah, I gave it a 3.5 because I don't know, it was okay. And there's nothing wrong with the writing was great. It just was the story kind of dragged on a little bit. It was a lot of just, oh, we're at the house and we're gonna do this today and we're gonna do this today. And I guess that's basically just what like a little cozy read would be. It's like, oh, we're spending time at the cottage doing cottagey things. But the whole point of the story was that there's this ash witch coming after her, and I was expecting there to be a little bit more drama surrounding it. And when she finally does show up, it's not this big thing. It's very like, she shows up and then they come up with this stupid plan to get rid of her, and it just, I don't know, it just seemed like an afterthought when in the beginning it seemed like it was such a big deal. But I mean, it got a 3.5. I mean, that's not horrible, but I mean, it could have been some things a little different for me. Okay, we also read Kiki's Delivery Service, and I'm smiling because I love this book. I've only ever seen the movie, so reading this book, like, there are so many other things that happen, the other deliveries, other adventures she got into that could have been in the movie, but they weren't. So I'm saying I like the book a lot better than the movie, just because there is so much more of like Kiki's adventures and stuff to see, and more her parents. There wasn't as much of the lady at the bakery as there was in the movie. At least I don't think there was. But I just there's not much to say. This got a 5. It was really cute. It just made me want to watch the movie, which I'm probably gonna do in the next couple of weeks because it's time for these kind of movies. But yeah, Kiki's Delivery Service by Eiko Kadono got a 5. So the next book I had on Kindle Unlimited, but I guess I must have returned it already. So, and that was the Hoop Shorts. The Hoop Shorts is 2 novellas based in the Hoop series with other characters. So one was Avery and, oh, I can't remember his name, the coach, and I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know. The coach, the guy that was the coach for the basketball team that August played for, I think. So we see how their relationship started, and then we see, let me get my phone, because I need to give y'all names. I can give y'all information that I never have. Okay, the first one is with Avery and Mackenzie Decker. That's his name, Avery and Mackenzie Decker. And then the second one is Quinn and Ann. And Quinn, if you don't remember, or I might have mentioned it, or maybe not. Quinn is a character from Blockshot. She's one of Banner's clients, and it's her love story and everything. So I think Ian is a coach. Mackenzie Decker's not a coach. He like owns the team. I think Ian is the one who was the coach for August's team. But they were just little short stories based in the same world. Quick reads. They got a 5. Nothing crazy. Next book I read was Sight Unseen by Kasha Thompson. This book follows Quincy and Evelyn, and they basically enter into like a married at first sight, 90-day fiance kind of thing. So in the book, in this universe, it's called Why Not, K-N-O-T, like tie the knot. And they get married, they're strangers, and this just shows their progression from meeting at the wedding to their 90 days living together to their decision to whether they're going to stay together or not. And they go through some stuff. I will say that I did not care much for Quincy's attitude. I did not care much for his attitude at all. He's horrible at communicating. He's one of those people that is just going to walk away, not say anything, shut down, don't want to argue, not necessarily argue, but if there's a disagreement, he don't want to deal with it. And I can understand his reasons for that, kind of, sort of, the way he was raised in foster care and don't have a lot of people close to him. And just that's just his go-to. And Evelyn is the complete opposite. She wants to talk about it. She wants to work through it right then and there, get everything off of our chest so it doesn't have a chance to fester and become anything worse. And then it just seems to be sabotaging. At one point, he was just completely ignoring phone calls from her because he felt the way about his own emotions towards her. And he's like, I don't want to get too attached, even though I told her certain things, but I don't want to get too attached, so I'm going to ignore her now, which made no sense. Then when he got home, he was just Quincy just ruined a lot of stuff going on. Then he was still in contact with his ex, even though it wasn't actual contact, but he was still allowing her to text him and sometimes responding, and that became a problem, of course, because why? Especially when you find out that she was a horrible person and super toxic, and just they were together for 4 years, and he's like, it was the worst 4 years of his life. Then why are you still talking to her? Why are you still dealing with her? Why is she still why didn't you block her? And that's what his friend said. Why didn't you block her? Why are you still, like, why is she showing up unannounced to parties and you engage in a conversation, like, up close, like, right here, like, right up in here? Like, This got a 3.5, and it was mostly because of Quincy, because he just didn't know how to deal with his emotions, and I didn't like that. But other than that, it was cool. I mean, their little romance was cute. Their little honeymoon was cute. When they first met, it was cute. But Quincy, like during the 90 days, Quincy was ready to get punched in his face several times. Several times. I just couldn't deal with him. I guess that's how you know a character is written well, when you don't necessarily like him. But yeah, it got 3.5. Last book, this is the one I told y'all that I just finished today, like right before I finished recording, because I wanted to finish it so I could talk to y'all about it now. And that is Immortal Dark, our book club read for the month by Titus Grima, sorry. Oh my goodness. This book, I would have finished it yesterday, but I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't read that much when I got home from work, or I didn't read it all when I got home from work. But this book, I was so excited. I was so excited for this book. I really, really was. And it didn't disappoint. There were the plot twists. There were twists everywhere throughout the book. So we follow Adane, and she is trying to find her twin sister June, and she ends up at Uxley University, which is this school where they, when you're a part of a certain family, they teach you how to live with vampires. So there are 80 families that are vampires are allowed to drink from, and you can have a vampire companion, but you have to go to school to learn how the dynamics work between the two. And her vampire companion is Cesenos, I think that's how you say his name. And he is problematic in the beginning, and we don't like him in the beginning, but he starts to grow on you. He's one of those like toxic, like Zayden from Fourth Wing kind of characters that is like, I don't necessarily like you, but as time goes on, it's like, oh wait, no, I kind of do. And they have this really like weird toxic relationship, and she makes friends and she learns all this stuff while she's trying to find her sister and figure out who took her, because her foster mother told her that her vampire took her sister. So she's like, where is she? What's going on? And he's denying it at every turn. And I don't want to give too much away, because this is like, this book just came out. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are still reading this, so I don't want to give away too much. But I loved it. I thought it was really good. I love the characters. Yusuf and Taj are like we gotta protect them from everything, from all negativity, from all darkness. Gotta protect the both of them. There's a character, Slen. We don't like her at first, but she grows on you too, just like the vampire does. It's just every time, every chapter, it was like something was happening. I was like, oh my god, oh no. But it was so good. Kanan as a character is like so well written. She's very layered. Like she doesn't care about people. She only cares about finding her sister, but she also cares about people. And she is afraid of death, but at the same time is not afraid of death. Like, she's just a very well-rounded, well-written character. So I highly, highly recommend this. I gave this a 4.5, only because in some spots the pacing was a little off, a little strange, a little weird. And there was sometimes where like things jumped around and it seemed like information was being missed. I was like, wait a minute, you need to explain that a little bit more, because it doesn't really make sense. And they just were saying and talking about stuff like we were supposed to know. So that was the only thing. But other than that, I loved it. It was great. Okay, that's the end. Those are the 9 books that I read for September. Hopefully you saw something that you want to read that caught your interest. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, turn on your notifications, subscribe, all of that. Leave a comment. Let me know what your reading for September looked like. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.